Marc Marquez has finally spoken about the major changes Ducati have made ahead of the 2025 French Grand Prix. With the scent of revenge growing ever stronger, the battle at the Le Mans circuit is set to be a test not only of speed, but also of strategy, records, and the ability to deal with unpredictable weather conditions. Will all these changes be enough to maintain Ducati's dominance and dampen the ambitions of its rivals? Let's discuss. Le Mans, France. This weekend Marquez prepares for one of the biggest challenges of the 2025 season. The French Grand Prix at Le Mans is not just about speed, it is about revenge, correcting mistakes and proving that he is not finished yet. In a pressure-filled atmosphere, Marquez openly revealed that Ducati have made changes to his bike that could be the key to turning around the 8-time world champion's fortunes. Marquez came to Le Mans with scars from Jerez, not only physical wounds from his crash in the main race, but also emotional wounds from watching his younger brother Alex Marquez stand on top of the podium and take over the MotoGP standings. Now just 1 point separates the two. But behind the sibling tensions, Marc has a much bigger personal mission: to regain his status as king of Ducati, and at the same time shake up the dominance of Jorge Martin and Alex Marquez, who are currently leading the standings this season. The Monday after the Spanish GP was a crucial moment that had the potential to change the course of Marquez's season. In the official test session at the Jerez circuit, the Gresini Ducati rider stood out by setting the fastest time. A confirmation that he is still fully involved in the fight for the title and not ready to give up. "We didn't do a big test," said Marquez after the session. "Our main focus is on the small details that can make a big difference. The feeling on the front of the bike is an absolute priority. We also tried the old swing arm again, not for nostalgia but to make sure that the feeling is still under control." For Marquez, the word "feel" is not just a technical term. It is the essence of his racing instinct, the basis of the aggressive and calculated style that has won him 8 world titles. Having twice missed golden opportunities this season through crashes, stability and confidence in his bike are non-negotiable requirements. Ducati are also well aware of the value of the input of a rider of Marquez's caliber. Together with Francesco Bagnaia, the reigning world champion, they are now 2 of the main pillars in the development of the GP25 motorcycle project. According to Ducati Lenovo team manager Davide Tardazzi, the combination of Marquez and Bagnaia is one of the most talented and complete duos that Ducati has ever had in its MotoGP history. Marquez is no stranger to Le Mans. In his heyday with Honda, he had conquered the circuit twice in a row in 2018 and 2019. But since then the track has become fertile ground for Ducati. Since 2020, Ducati have recorded a series of impressive victories in the French MotoGP. In 2020 Danilo Petrucci won in wet race conditions. Then, in 2021, Jack Miller won the Grand Prix. The following year, 2022, it was Enea Bastianini's turn to win the French GP. In the 2023 season, Jorge Martin won the sprint session, while Marco Bezzecchi dominated the main race. Finally, in 2024, Jorge Martin showed his dominance by winning both the sprint and the Grand Prix. If Ducati wins again at Le Mans this weekend, it will be the Italian manufacturer's 23rd consecutive victory in MotoGP, a record that even legendary teams like Repsol Honda and Yamaha have never matched in the Rossi era. But the real threat to Marquez and Ducati comes not only from their opponents on the track, but also from the ever-mysterious skies above Le Mans. The Bugatti circuit has long been known for its unpredictable weather, quick changes, biting cold winds, often low track temperatures and the constant risk of a wet race. This adds to the excitement, as every decision regarding tire choice or race strategy can have unpredictable consequences. "The weather and the temperature can be a deciding factor here," Marquez said emphatically. "We have prepared the bike with new settings, but everything can change depending on the track temperature and wind direction." Amidst the roar of the spotlight on Marquez and his rise with Ducati, one name remains firmly in place: Francesco Bagnaia. The reigning world champion seems unfazed by the noise of the news, choosing to speak not through words but through consistency and determination on the track. Currently, Bagnaia is 20 points behind the leader of the standings. However, history never lies, and history records that Pecco always appears sharper, more ferocious, in the second half of the season. He is not a rider that explodes in the beginning, but like a snake that lurks in the shadows, waiting for the right moment to strike back deadly. In Jerez, his performance was not spectacular, but very efficient. He was able to secure 3rd place in the sprint race, although in the main race he struggled to overtake his opponents. 2 third places in one weekend may not be enough to scare the competition, but it is enough to remind the world. Bagnaia is still there, quietly lurking, continuing to rack up points like a calculating machine that never stops working. Le Mans is one of my favorite circuits, says Pecco with characteristic calm. The track suits my riding style and the characteristics of the Ducati very well. We tried some new parts at the Jerez test, and I feel that our potential will be much greater at Le Mans. But the biggest question mark and intrigue is his performance at the Jerez test. Bagnaia only managed the 17th fastest time, a result far below expectations. But to the keen observer, this may not be a sign of weakness, but rather a sign of strategy. In the world of racing, not everything that looks bad on the surface is a failure. It could be that Pecco is hiding his true strength. It could be that he is holding a trump card that will only be revealed when the time comes. He may not talk much. He may not show the same blatant dominance as Marquez. But behind his silence and flat expression, Pecco Bagnaia is still a serious threat, a man who knows how to be a champion and, more importantly, knows when to strike to reclaim his throne. In the midst of Ducati's increasingly compelling MotoGP, the French public have high hopes for one name, Fabio Quartararo. The 2021 world champion finally ended his long drought with an impressive result at the Jerez circuit, securing second place and his first podium since the 2023 season. It was a sign of revival that rekindled the spirit of his home fans. With the Monster Energy Yamaha team, Quartararo is not only chasing victory after victory, but also a deeper mission, to become the first home rider to successfully end Ducati's dominance of the Le Mans circuit from 2020 onwards. Under such pressure, determination grows even stronger. I am very happy with the result in Jerez. It gives me a lot of confidence. Now it's time to race in front of my own fans at Le Mans. I will give my all, said Quartararo enthusiastically, as if he wanted to repay the support of the millions of pairs of eyes waiting for him in the stands. For Quartararo, this race is not just about points or championship positions. It is a patriotic mission. A call to raise the French flag in the midst of the Italian power that is currently triumphant. On the circuit that is the pride of his country, Fabio comes not as an ordinary challenger, but as a symbol of hope for the entire nation. The 2025 MotoGP standings are heating up, with Alex Marquez leading the way with 94 points, just ahead of his older brother Marquez in second place with 93. Third is Jorge Martin with 91 points, followed by Francesco Bagnaia in fourth with 74 points and Enea Bastianini in fifth with 68 points. The competition at the top of the standings is getting tougher and tougher to predict. Only 26 points separate the top 5. And in an era of sprint races, the smallest mistake can have huge consequences. The 2025 MotoGP season has become an arena of intrigue, technical pressures, family rivalries, and generational battles. But while the changes show a strong desire to return to glory, one big question remains. Will these moves be enough to restore him to a dominant position, or will he show his limitations in the face of increasingly sophisticated opponents? Write in with your thoughts.